Hey guys, how's it going? It's been around 2 weeks since I gave my last market update, and since then, a lot has happened. I just want to come back and make another video here that kind of reemphasizes that we are still on par to hit that $150,000 Bitcoin by mid-June to the end of June, and what's going to happen with XRP in that time period as well. Now, I've organized out the notes of what I really want to talk about here. Just so you know, I only stick to market updates on 2 week closes. I think weekly closes and 2 week closes are by far the most significant indicators that you should be tracking, and everything else in between is really just noise. And now that we have this 2 week close here yesterday, there's a lot that is indicating we are more than on track to hit that 150K in a very short time frame. Now, again, these videos are not meant to make guesses really on daily time frames or what's going to happen tomorrow. It's a longer term time frame, guys, that you can ride out this market. And we are currently in a very big move that is going to last another month to 2 months at the very least. And when we look at our first bullet point here, the major resistance line that we broke out of last video that we talked about, we have only continued to run. So we still got that going for us, and we have a lot of momentum on this side. Checking in with the stablecoin dominance as well. This crossover has only continued to just crash down. And until we hit this support line, we still have a lot of room, guys, to make a lot of progress, not only on Bitcoin, but a lot of the altcoins as well, including XRP. So we're looking gorgeous here. We had the crossover that led to this breakdown. Previously, the big breakdowns always happen with the 2 week crossover that we are currently just crashing into with a lot of momentum to the downside. And this is where I think you can think about starting to take some money off the table, but we still got a lot of room. On Bitcoin, guys, we have only made the crossover stronger on this last 2 week close as of yesterday. You can see these, as we talked about in our previous videos, is literally the easiest way to just gauge where the market is going in the following weeks. When they cross over at these oversold or overbought levels on the 2 week stochastic RSI, it is a very good indicator of the momentum to come over the next coming weeks. And I think if you take this pattern we have right here, which as I have shown is a bull flag in my mind, you duplicate the height of the base and you get around 150K. Now, we certainly can go higher than this, but I am just thinking about taking profits once we get around this level, as that would be the natural target to hit. But like usual, you do get wicks above to trap investors before we consolidate one more time. And we'll see how it plays out. But again, we're taking it one target at a time for now, and this looks really good. Now, we also talked about these two key points in our last video. Now, the global M2 money supply hasn't done too much since my last video about 2 weeks ago, but the sentiment, same thing. I mean, it was destroyed as of our last video, and now you're seeing people entering back into the market, and a lot of them are FOMOing into this lockout rally. It's been practically straight up, guys, and this does happen because it's a max pain scenario for those that didn't get in at these lower prices. Again, I would just say hold tight over the next couple weeks. I really think it's going to pay off for you if you're patient enough. You could expect some chop in here, but again, I'm not too concerned. Yeah, maybe you go back to 97K, fill this absolute mega candle right here. However, it really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. If you ride it out, we should be heading a lot higher over the next couple of months. I would say the ideal scenario is to close with this green candle by the end of May, up here above all-time highs. And then June is just going to be the blast off month where a lot of volume is going to come in. Altcoins are going to go absolutely crazy, and Bitcoin's going to get at 150K, probably wick out closer to 160, 170, probably crash. And we'll see what happens after that, but we're not so concerned. We're also getting a monthly stochastic RSI crossover, which is incredibly bullish. Those can last for some time as well, as you see here. But if we close above here, we'll get that crossover, and then it's off to the races for June. Now, XRP, guys, this is really what I want to talk about because this is where my main exposure is to the market currently, along with HBAR and XDC and XLM, which are all related to XRP, but XRP being the core position of this ISO 2022 portfolio. Now, similar to what we pointed out in the last video with Bitcoin breaking its long-term resistance line to the upside, XRP has not only broke, depending on where you want to put this, but this is the absolute max of where the resistance line could be. And we're probably going to close, who knows? But as we start to close above this, again, as I pointed out, that equilibrium price zone, it's around 260, 262. with XRP. If we can start closing above that, guys, along with some stochastic RSI on the weekly stochastic RSI, we have already been crossing over, which is going to have a lot of momentum here. But once we close 262, guys, it is going to be off to the races. We're going to three very quickly. We're going to close above that very quickly. And that will lead to the 2 week stochastic RSI crossover, which I would say is, it's lagging perfectly behind Bitcoin, which really is how when Bitcoin broke into its all-time highs last time up here is really when XRP started moving. So as Bitcoin continues to run, up to that all-time high, potentially breaks it, XRP will start moving with a lot more aggression to the same all-time high price zone of, 330 and then well above. I think we can easily reach $10 to $15, guys, by the end of June. That is very close, guys. And this is an opportunity I really do not want people to miss. I think it's going to be very similar to how we played out back here. And with this stochastic RSI crossover, you're just going to break above incredibly quickly. And I think it's either going to be this 2 week or the next 2 week candle where you get that. And then it's just a blow off, a couple candles where you go into all-time highs and well above to end this bull market. And who knows, maybe that won't be the end. Maybe we'll have another consolidation and run off, but this is your opportunity to get in before the major breakout. And the risk to reward is really good here. You at least have some support close. If you take the risk to reward on where these prices are going to go after all-time highs compared to where you could stop out, it's a pretty good trade in my opinion. And coincidentally, as I'm filming this video today, which I film a video every 2 weeks, I don't like to be super engaged in the market. The majority of it is all noise, guys. You do not need to pay too much attention to the market to make money. But XRP dominance across the market has also formed a breakout above this longer term resistance, which again, if you don't know, but when we broke out down here, that led us from 60 cents up to $3.30. So that's where it really began. And I'm starting to see a lot of strength in XRP's market dominance chart, which is also forming a stochastic RSI crossover on the weekly chart, which is very good to see. And again, we've been talking about this price zone for some time, but once we can break above this, it is just blue ocean from here. And XRP is going to take up a lot of market share as it runs and potentially reaches these highs up here too. We'll see. And then the last chart I want to show is, XRP to Bitcoin dominance. We're finally trying to find some support here. Now, I think XRP from this moment forward will probably outperform Bitcoin and start to turn around. Bitcoin's been running very aggressively. XRP and the alts have been slower to follow. Besides, Ethereum's actually had a great comeback. But either way, we formed a weekly stochastic RSI crossover, which again, it always leads to some sort of pump here. And I think we're gaining a lot of momentum based on all the key resistance lines we are breaking on the other XRP charts. So hopefully we can break back above this once we get up here. And then towards the mid-June, end of June, just rally up through this, which will be incredible for the XRP price, as well as those ISO 2022 coins related. That's all I got for you guys. I really just want to emphasize on this outro that this bull market has been very tough, especially for new traders that didn't have experience throughout the past bull markets, which were very different. But just a few weeks of price action, guys, as I've showed in previous charts with the time frames that make up the most significant gains, a few weeks can make up for all the pain that we experience throughout these retracements. And I don't want you to underestimate the moves that are going to happen in the next month or so. You take that with what you will, and I'll see you in 2 weeks on our next update. Cheers.